I've been acting like I have a visibility wound, like I am afraid to be seen. I don't have a visibility wound. I love being seen. I love being the center of attention. I love being on stage. I'm more comfortable in front of an audience than I am doing the day-to-day human things. By the way, this is Gregory. He's holding my microphone for me because when I put my microphone on my shirt, it just ripped open my shirt and it was just full titty hanging out. And you're not paying enough for that. First, I want to point out the fact that victimhood is so cozy. It's delicious. I love it so much. All right. I know I'm like working very hard. I've worked very hard to escape victimhood and to, take responsibility and have more accountability with self and pursue my dreams and yada yada. Also, oh, victimhood feel good. It's nice because it's like there's no accountability in that place. It's just like, oh, life is hard for me. This is hard. It's easier for everyone else. I don't know. I take little vacations to victimhood every now and again. Anyway, I thought I had a visibility wound, right? And I've had this thing that's been happening to me, I would say in the last year. I've been in this group of amazing content creators, like big deal, incredible people, huge followings, making the world a better place. And we meet every Monday. And we're all talking about because like content creation can be fairly lonely, right? I'm talking to a phone that's currently on my desk. My dogs are here, but they're asleep. And I'm not getting the live reaction from an audience. I'm essentially just going to spend a bunch time filming this, editing it, and then tossing it into the ethers and hoping that someone watches it, right? Like it might be 10 people that watch it, it might be 10,000 people that watch it, it might be 10 million. You can never know, right, Gregory? So I'm part of this content creation group. We're called the Heart Talkers, which is funny because my friend Mia and I call it the Fart Talkers or the Fart Knockers. And these folks are doing big deal things. Like they're getting on these huge podcasts, they're getting massive book deals. And I'm watching all this happen and I'm celebrating them and also going, why not me? Why not me? And for a while, I was calling that victimhood, where I'm like, wow, I'm like really in the victimhood state of this. But then I realized, and I've been saying this for years, that it feels like there's something in me that's holding me back from the amount of like success or greatness or miracles that I do feel like I'm worthy of, like opportunities and stuff. I'm great. I'm a delight. I have great things to say. I've done so much work. I see the world in a unique way, and I'm funny and obviously just so humble. How come them and not me? And so there's been this sense of like other people are chosen and I'm not. They have this unseeable thing, this intangible thing, and the universe, life, whatever is choosing them instead of me, and that I'm on the back burner. And then I was like, oh, okay, well, this reminds me of how I felt as a kid. This is how it felt growing up in this instance. And so I was thinking, okay, childhood, childhood, childhood. It still wasn't clicking for me though. And this morning I woke up cranky as can be. I woke up so cranky because a handful of videos that I did didn't perform well. And that can sound however it sounds to you. I really don't care. We all have our own emotional reactions to things. I put a lot of energy and effort into content creation and it feels like it's just slowly growing rather than having a big viral moment of people realizing, oh my God, she's got some great stuff to say. She can really help people. Okay, whatever. It is what it is. Other people can have their own interpretation of that. So I woke up cranky and being like, what do I have to do for people to notice me? What do I have to do for my big moment? What do I have to do to get the amazing book deal or to get the huge following in order to get the amazing book deal? And rather than try to convince that part not to be cranky or like talk that part out of it, because I tend to do that. Like I'll do little tricks of like not interrogating, but like interviewing the thought and then detaching from the thought, etc. But with this one, I was just like, do you want to complain a little bit? And that part of me is like, why, yes, indeedly do I do. And I visualize this part of me. She's pacing back and forth and she's pissed and she's like, I work so hard. I do this, this, and this. The amount of effort that I'm putting in, I'm not getting back. For years, it's felt like I get in a car, metaphorically, and I'm driving toward my destination. I'm driving toward my dreams. And then something takes over, gets in the car, and drives me back where I started. And I'm like, oh God, let me get back in the car and let me drive again. And so it feels like I'm putting in so much energy just to make it little bits further. And it's really frustrating when I'm surrounded by all these brilliant people. I love being surrounded by brilliant people. It also can bring up, imposter syndrome. It can bring up like some jealousy. It can bring up a lot of different things because we're human. Okay. Okay. Allegedly. Or is it a simulation? Hmm. Boop, boop, boop. So today I'm sitting at the vet with my doggy who got surgery. So this is the post op checkup. And I'm sitting on the floor with him and I'm waiting for the surgeon person and they're running late. And so I'm just allowing this part of me that's so cranky that she's working so hard. And it's like, where's mine? And it doesn't even feel, because for a while I was like, is it entitlement? Is it victimhood? Is it whatever? This is like, no, I value myself and I'm doing the work. What am I missing here? Right. And I'm allowing myself to be in that space. So judge away. You're the internet. You're going to do that anyway. I don't need to judge myself in an anticipatory way to prepare myself for your potential judgment because that's just exhausting. That's like, it's like inception. It's genception. I let the part get cranky. She's complaining, she's whining, she's screaming, she's pacing, and I just listen. And finally I'm like, all right, are you done? Yes. Okay. Out of curiosity, what are you protecting me from? She steps aside and I see just this thread, and the thread is still going. It's like I double clicked a file folder and it's just of this thread, of this theme of memories of different things that have happened in my life where when I was at my best, I was attacked, I was ostracized, I was bullied, I was treated differently, right? Like in high school, in algebra, the teacher graded with a curve. So if she would take the highest score for a test, like a 96, and then she would give that person 4 extra points, and then everyone else would get the 4 extra points. So taking the highest score to 100. Well, the only flaw with this is that I'm fantastic at algebra. I love me some maths. I do math to relax. So my grades were typically like a 104, a 105, a 107. It was, I would get all the questions right and the extra credit right. So this means that there was no curve for people. And so the entire class would get so mad at me for getting such a good grade. They'd be like, can't you just get some wrong? That way we can get a better score. And I'm just like, I don't understand. I couldn't even grasp that. I'm like, aren't we all doing our best? Shouldn't we just do our best? And then that's good. And I remember the teacher on my behalf was like, you all are complaining, but realistically, if I was still grading on the curve, you all would get -7 points because I would be taking her down to a 100. So probably stop complaining. Okay, that's one example. And then there's another, which I'm not doing this chronologically because that's not how the file folder works in my brain. When I was a kid, I decided I wanted a pony, right? Everyone goes through that phase, I think. So my parents were like, "Sure, you can get a pony, you can get a horse if you save up the money for it." I'm like, "Okay, how much is a horse?" And they're like, "Well, you need at least a few $1,000s." Okay. Now, most she's like really trying to show her butthole. There it is. Excuse me. I feel like most kids would just be like, no thanks. Or they'd go, yeah, totally. And they'd save like $10 and then end up spending it on some cute little stuffed animal. Nay, I spent years saving every bit of money that I got. I started doing pastel drawings of Beanie Babies and selling them for $1 in my neighborhood. I did lemonade stands. I did pet sitting. Anytime that there was a birthday, I was like, I want money for my horsey. Okay. By the time that I was 11, I had $4,000 saved up. I found my dream pony. Her name was Emmy. And I sat my parents down to have a very serious conversation and let them know I'm ready. I found the horse. I'm ready to buy this horse. And they say, honey, we don't have the money for a horse. And I say, don't worry, I do. And they say, no, you don't. It turns out that a family member needed to borrow my money to pay for bills. I've done a lot of work around that one, but it sucks because it's like if they had just asked, like if that family member had reached out to my parents and then asked me, then that I would have said yes. And they eventually did pay me back, but I wasn't able to get Emmy. And so it felt like in that instance, I'm like, wait, I did everything right here. I really leaned into my so many different skill sets and I had this big goal and I reached this goal and how fantastic is it? And then it was taken from me. I worked in sales all through my 20s and I was a fantastic salesperson just because I actually listened to people. Huh. And get to know them and help them find what is the best fit for them. Like, I don't know, that seems common sense to me. But it was another one of those things where I was ostracized and I was bullied for, like, genuinely bullied, hazed for having the highest numbers out of the entire team. The manager would take the rest of the team to the side and compare them to me. He would be like, "Why aren't your numbers what Jen's are? Why aren't you doing what she's doing? Blah, 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 blah." And it just caused this rift between, is it riff or rift? It caused space in between me and the rest of the team. And I would come into work and people on other teams would be like, "Oh, here comes Jen thinking she's better than everyone." And literally it was because I had the highest sales numbers. And I was like, the way you're seeing me, like the awkwardness and stuff, that was me then, except I was wearing 6-inch stilettos and I was drinking alcohol. I think I had fake boobs too. That's the only difference here. So I was never like shoving it in people's faces that I had great numbers. I was just doing my job and I was really, really good at it. And so I learned through, and there's so many, I mean, like, there's so many files in this folder of this recurring theme of when I was really fantastic at something, when I was doing my best, when I was allowing myself to shine bright like a diamond, I was bullied or ostracized, or, "Oh, you got hair in your nose." Yeah. Or taken advantage of, if it was monetarily. So I realized, oh my gosh, I have this part of me that has learned it's better to belong than be the best, maybe. I don't have the exact wording for it yet because, like, I'm the best doesn't, I don't know, that doesn't quite resonate, but it's like, it's better to belong than stand out. Maybe that's it. That feeling of getting in a car and driving one way and then having another part of me turn around and drive me the other way, that's exactly what's been happening. And so here I am sitting on the floor at the vet's office, having this amazing realization. And rather than try to convince this part, "Hey, you should stop. Like, you're sabotaging. You should stop." Like, none of that. I was just like, "Holy guacamole, you are so cool." And she's like, "What?" I'm like, "The fact that you're so smart. You are so smart. You learned that it was unsafe and that you would be alone because of this, like, you had all this evidence. And from that evidence, from those situations, from that pain, you decided, I want to protect you from that pain. Here's how I will do that. I will make sure that there is a ceiling to the amount of, like, success or abundance or opportunities that you can let in. There's a limit to that, because beyond that limit makes other people uncomfortable, which means they will bully you and you will be alone." How cool is it? Just knowing how, and maybe you've watched me for a while, maybe you haven't, but I bust my buns in pursuing my dreams. Like, I genuinely do everything within my power to make my dreams a reality. I've written 4 feature-length screenplays. I've written 3 short screenplays. I've written a book. I do this content creation. There's so much. I work really, really hard. And it makes sense now that the amount of work that I've put out doesn't match what's coming in, because there's been a part of me that is genuinely, like, blocking that, not in a sabotage way, truly in a protective way of, oh, okay, well, this is about the limit of what we can let in and what we can receive, and, like, the goodness that can happen in life until you start standing out. So I'm just over here going, holy crap, this part is brilliant. I love her. And that's what I'm telling her. I'm like, you are so cool. You are so smart. I love that you did this. You have protected me from so much, and it's amazing. I want to buy her a prize. I don't know what the prize is, but I really want to do that. That's the realization. And right now, I'm not, like, trying to fix or change anything. And the light turned off again. I'm not trying to fix or change anything. I'm just loving on that part and going, oh my gosh, I see you. I see the amount of work you've been doing. And I've been saying, I mean, like, for 10 years, I've been saying, I feel like there's a splinter I can't reach. And this to me is that splinter. It's, and it all comes down to protection. It all comes down to wanting to keep myself safe. People can be really, really cruel. And I'm not looking for a solution right now. I'm just like, okay, hello, part. I see you. Let's get to know each other a little more.